Yeah. Both around.
Senator Morris, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, colleagues. We have been here for quite a while, and I will try my best to condense this presentation. But, Mr. President, I want to outline, though, that
Sorry, I noticed. Senator Allen, you're back with us.
I... I want to outline, though, that my presentation will take a different tone, because I believe that the debate is called the State of the Nation for a reason, and I'm here to speak about the real state of our nation and to speak the truth, nothing but the truth, the whole truth, so help me God. Mr. President, this morning I rise to deliver what might be my final State of the Nation address in this chamber for the life of the Senate. And I do so, I do so with a heart brimming with gratitude, pride, and resolve. Serving the people of Jamaica in this capacity has been the honor of a lifetime. A trust placed in me at just 23 years old, a trust I've held sacred with humility. Oh no, you can't say that. Every step of the way, Mr. President. I would like to take the opportunity to once again salute the former leader of the opposition, Dr. Peter Phillips, for entrusting me, a young woman, with this awesome responsibility. And to the current leader of the opposition, Mr. Mark Jefferson Golding, I want to thank him for his faith in me, for granting me the opportunity to serve as spokesperson on youth and civic engagement, and for always lending wisdom and guidance. Mr. President, I've been fortunate to share this chamber with colleagues who have inspired and challenged me. To my Senate family on this side, we have weathered storms together. We have stood resolute in the defense of the people, and we are stronger for it. To the staff of this parliament, your dedication does not go unnoticed, and respect is due to each of you for the long hours that you endure in the service of this country. I promised the police officers outside that I would not take the whole day, so I will seek to stick to my word. And to my village, to my family, to my friends, to my constituents, speaking it into being. I want to welcome a part of my Northwest St. Anne family to the Parliament today. I am so happy that you could be here to hear my State of the Nation, and I want to thank you for all that you do to support the constituency, and I look forward to serving and working with you. Thank you. Yes. Mr. President, as I reflect on my journey, I'm reminded of the powerful words of Langston Hughes, the poet. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Mr. President, too many Jamaicans' dreams have dried up. This is precisely why I'm so grateful for the privilege of representing the people of Northwest St. Anne as of October last year. And as I engage with persons across the constituency, I notice a troubling reality. Their hopes have withered under the weight of broken promises and unfulfilled potential. We see it in their eyes. The farmers, the youth yearning for more opportunities, the single mothers fighting to make ends meet, the elders who rely on a small pension to live with a little dignity in their golden years. And they ask, what about us? And Mr. President, I've walked with them. I've sat in their homes. I've listened to their stories. I carry their burdens in my heart sometimes because I wish I could do more. These are not just numbers on a voter's list. They're family. They're people who have adopted me as their daughter, their granddaughter. And I look forward to being their voice, their representative in this place. Mr. President, I've learned very quickly that representational politics is not about titles or prestige. It is about love, love for people, love for justice, love for the belief that together we can create a Jamaica where dreams are not deferred but fulfilled. Today I stand here resolute with the voices of the Jamaican people resounding in my heart to say that the time for deferral is over. The time for decisive action is now. For change is upon us. People time come. The time has come for the realization of the dreams of our forefathers. The time has come to turn deferred dreams into a brighter reality. Mr. President, Jamaica is a land of extraordinary promise, a nation whose people inspire the world with our creativity, our resilience, our spirit. But beneath the surface of this national pride lies a sobering truth. Far too many Jamaicans are still waiting for their share of this dream. This is a nation, and this is the reality, where falling ill is a curse, not just because of pain, Senator, but because our hospitals are overwhelmed and under-resourced. They have become hotspots of chaos. With all the resources spent in the health sector outlined today by Senator Longmore, people are still dying. People are still sick. Some as they desperately try to find the comfort of sleep on hard hospital benches or chairs when they should be resting in a hospital bed. They're waiting months for treatment. Their illnesses are getting worse because of the shortage of equipment. Severe outbreaks are denied to protect the optics for the government, while the lives of babies are lost. This is the real state of our nation. This is a nation where food insecurity threatens the survival of our families. Too many parents have to send their children to bed hungry. Damien speaks of it all the time, that too many of our children have to learn on hungry belly. This is the state of our nation. This is a nation where education system is failing too many of our people. Too many youth graduate from schools ill-equipped for the demands of life and work. We know that 30% of our children are leaving primary school unable to read or write, and about 50% do not have basic numeracy nor comprehension skills. And it breaks the hearts of all who cares, because education is one of the most powerful vehicles of social mobility. But this is the state of our nation. After 62 years of political independence, this is not where we should be. It can't be where we want to be. And I take a look at the faces of the people that I meet every day. Their dreams have been deferred, not because they lack ambition or they don't want to achieve them, but because our systems and leaders lack vision and are still gambling with the political will to make real change on behalf of the masses of this country. That is the truth of our nation. We continue to wrestle with the legacies of our colonial past and the burdens of modern mismanagement and corruption. The legacies of colonialism are not just talking points. It is not just a concept. The legacies of colonialism are born out of every day in the Jamaican reality. It is seen in the decision-making of the government and has become particularly stark in the past 9 years. The weight of deferred dreams has become unbearable. It is our moral obligation to now lift it. Decolonization is about lifting that weight. It's not about petty arguments about who is what color. It is about lifting that weight and allowing the country to move towards true freedom as a people. It is about getting out from under low growth, low wage, low productivity, low hope, underemployed, under-resourced reality designed to benefit only a few. Mr. President, when the government speaks of recovery and prosperity, we have to ask, and I always ask, for whom? Because the figures tell a sobering story. Listen to this one, Senator Hill. Over the past 5 years, our economic growth has averaged just over 1% annually. Compare this with the aspirations of Vision 2030, which called for sustained growth of 5% per year to achieve a thriving and equitable society. These are not just numbers and economic jargon. When we go to the supermarkets and can't buy the things that we did a year ago with the same amount of money, when we have to choose one bill over the other, and last Christmas dinner they'd have it just regular, that is what a 3.2 contraction in the July to September quarter feels like. It is real. And this administration promised 5 in 4. Yes, we remember 5 in 4. 5% growth in 4 years. But today, up to today, we see no such transformation. Instead, Mr. President, what we have is concentrated wealth. The benefits of growth remain locked at the top, leaving too many Jamaicans behind. And even that is now contracting. What we have is a cost of living crisis. Rising prices for basic food items have forced our families to make impossible and even unhealthy food choices, Senator Longmore. What we have are stagnant wages. Wages have not kept pace with inflation, eroding the purchasing power of working Jamaicans. What we have is economic inequality, which is pervasive. The wealthiest of our population control more than 40% of our nation's wealth, while the poorest continue to struggle to survive. What we have is the job market that is stagnant. Youth unemployment continues to hover at 15%. However, many jobs are failing to provide a livable wage, or even our young people are struggling to find a job after investing so much in their education. You don't want to hear the truth, but I am going to talk it today because this is the state of our nation. What we have is our small farmers. They are struggling.
Mr. President, can you allow my perfect speaker to speak?
Because they don't want to hear the truth, Mr. President. Our small farmers, they are struggling. They are struggling. And the ice makers, they are suffering because we're importing ice. What we have is debt that still looms large.
D-E-B-T and
D-E-A-T-H, both of them. Senator Hill, this is not the vision that we were sold in 2015. We were sold a dream of prosperity. Yet for many, that dream remains deferred. And the promised prosperity keeps escaping the grasp of the ordinary Jamaican. I go back to the words of the poet Langston Hughes, who asks us of a dream deferred. Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? And I can already see the regular trolls on YouTube. Greetings to all of you. The opposition always attack negative. But I dare say, I dare say, I dare say that if the positive was outpacing the negative, then we wouldn't be here talking about it. We would be silenced. But many Jamaicans' lives exist with the realities that I am describing. I'm only echoing the thoughts of thousands of Jamaicans who are hoping somebody will speak on their behalf. Worst, Mr. President, this government over the past 5 years has attempted to govern by gaslight. You deny our lived reality. You turn a blind eye to our challenges. You revel in the expediency of telling people that these challenges do not exist or are not as bad as they might seem. You continue to blame the opposition for your failures. And the closer that we get to the election, the more you gaslight the people. The Prime Minister has been going around begging for a third term, Abka, promising that this term will be about the people. And I dare ask then, what were the other 2 terms about? What were the other 2 terms about? The writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. And this government has been weighed and found wanting. With every instance, dreams are further deferred. It sounds good to the ear when we hear that side speak, but you can't fool all the people all the time. I again turn to the poet Langston Hughes, who is obviously one of my favorites, who must have heard the gaslighting efforts. Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like syrup is sweet? We heard some of the disingenuous comments in the House today. And I'm a little bit taken aback that Senator Longmore would have introduced that photograph. I'm a little bit taken aback. I'm a little bit taken aback. Because I believe that there is an effort to be dishonest and divisive and manipulative relating to the sensitivity of race coming from that side, and it must stop. It is disgraceful. It is low. Shame. It is that side who goes on the international scale and speaks of discrimination. Yet you come here with this hateful narrative talking about allegiances when there are people on your side who are not even born here. Shame. And it will not continue. It will not continue. We on this side, we resent and we reject the diatribe that is coming from that side. For us on this side, we have seen the work of Mark Jefferson Golding and what he has done to uplift the masses of this country, and we continue to support him. The word is love. Jamaica is about to evaluate. No.
One. Senator Brown. You can't be doing that, man. But he not say sit down on your ball head. He never tell you that. Senator, sorry, thank you for yielding. Senator.
Point of order, sir. The senator suggested that the member had intention to be dishonest in her submissions. I am very sure that the standing orders forbids or prescribes against imputing pejorative motive to a member of this chamber. I'd suggest, sir, that by suggesting dishonesty on the part of the senator, and the member is in breach of the standing orders, all that the senator said was that it's offensive to the sensibilities of Jamaicans for a white man to have a black man in chains. That's not dishonest, sir. That's a fact. Thank you.
You heard him. Thank you. Go, Senator Morris. Senator Brown, you realize you buy out the presentation? Allow the senator to make our presentation, man. Senator Morris. Senator, thank you. Go ahead. You heard what the senator said, right? Senator Morris.
Jamaica is about to evaluate what you are presenting as progress. We are now deeply contemplating the route our people are being led on in the name of nation building. We must not give the opportunity to perpetuate this governance by gaslight. Jamaica will not. I raise this, and listen to me carefully, because what your lies and insincerity do to an already insecure and fragile nation is dangerous. It erodes the fabric of our nationhood. It breeds mistrust. And all the lazy excuses do is keep you in denial. You fail to face up to your shortcomings, and not facing up to them will only cause you to move more slowly than necessary to solve them. That is exactly what is happening. 62 years. I listened to you. I listened to you. 62 years of independence. We are called upon.
1 minute, Senator. 1 minute, Senator. 1 minute,
We
Senator
are called
Morris.
upon.
Senator Morris, 1 minute. Senator Crawford.
Mr. President, I understand she can take care of herself. But at the same time, Mr. President, we have to allow the speaker to be able to speak. At least for five minutes.
Senator Morris, Senator Crawford, I understand that.
Yes.
Senator Morris, you need some protection from the bench?
I'm
from
fine, Mr. President. I'm fine.
What she said?
I'm fine to continue.
At the
Yes.
same time, members, including Senator Brown, please allow the Speaker to continue in peace.
Thank you. 62 years into the project of independence, we are called upon to contemplate our choices, to remain in the bowels of tinkerhood, or to move forward to real change. It is now time, Mr. President. Now is that time for the lip service towards and about our national development to stop. Now, Mr. President, I was not in the chamber for Senator Hill's presentation. I'm really sorry that I missed it.
You don't miss nothing.
But I took the time to listen. Mr. President, I took the time to listen to Senator Hill. Yes. And his attempt to wax lyrical in defense of his party's legacy. And as I listened, I couldn't help but cringe a little bit, because it was filled with so much blame shifting and rhetoric that seemed disconnected from the realities facing our nation. Senator Hill, like many Jamaicans, I'm tired of the blame game and the endless tit for tat. Corruption, as you outlined, is not a matter of political spin. It is a deeply rooted issue that threatens the very foundations of our democracy. It undermines trust in our institutions. It weakens our social fabric. It stalls our nation's progress. And the leader of the opposition, yes, he captured it perfectly. Corruption siphons resources from where they are needed most. It steals from our children's education. It deprives our hospitals of critical supplies and ensures that our roads remain broken. It widens inequality, diverting taxpayers' money to enrich a privileged few instead of benefiting the many. Let us be clear, corruption is not a new issue in Jamaica, but it remains persistent and pervasive, and eradicating it requires more than just lip service. It demands bold, uncompromising action. The Prime Minister himself, and you recall a 2017 video, eloquently emphasizing the importance of accountability. He declared that we cannot be serious about tackling corruption unless we are equally serious about identifying the who, those alleged or proven guilty of corrupt acts. And I want to urge the Prime Minister to stay on that lane, to reflect on his own words, and to act with the integrity those words demand. Senator Longmore and Senator Hill, no matter how you want to spin it, Jamaicans deserve a Prime Minister whose declarations can stand up to scrutiny and certification. Our people deserve leadership that they can. Leadership that they can trust. It is that simple. It is now time.
Turn it off. Try now.
Testing.
Ah, perfectly good. Excellent. Good. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. Now, very soon, the people of this country will get a chance to decide their destiny for the next 5 years. And it is clear that people want change. They're tired of piecemeal policies handed out by the government to sweet up the electorate on the eve of an election. They're tired of empty promises. Yes, we haven't forgotten those promises of the first 100 days. That is the state of our nation, right here, right now. The Jamaican people deserve a real mix of fiscal discipline, economic development, productivity, social equity, and environmental sustainability. Today's debate provides an opportunity to take stock of our circumstances, to assess the impact of our policies or initiatives and our actions, and to chart a course for the future that will enable us to overcome the challenges that we face. This go-round, it must be ideological. We have to start by assessing our belief systems at their core. Because the truth is, the Jamaican people are tired. Many of them have lost their way. Some simply drop hand. We hear the sentiments all the time when we go on the road, Damien. We're not in the politics thing. Nothing not change. And this go round, we face the reality of seeing Jamaica stand still in the upcoming election. Why? Because many have lost faith. After years of dashed hopes, after years of contending with a system that seems to work against them in many ways, they have come to believe that all that is possible is growth that is low and slow, approaches that are wrong and strong, and systems that favor might over right. This is what we have become accustomed to in the last 9 years. Time comes for a government that will focus on the implementation of policies that will bridge the gap between the privileged and marginalized. Jamaicans deserve a government that will ensure that every Jamaican has a fair shot at success. This is what we on this side believe. Our plans move the needle forward to the benefit of all, not just some. Moving our plans definitively from the principles of trickle-down economics, which have failed to deliver the prosperity to the masses, is our aim. Time has come.
Leader.
Mr. President, the Speaker's time having expired, my leadership is sufficient to complete.
Thank you very much. The question is that the Speaker's time be extended to allow her to complete her presentation. Those in favor? Thank you very much. Senator Morris. So I noticed that the clock is running up there now. So for future reference, it's not working on that side, but it's working over here.
Okay. I'll bear that in mind.
Oh, both sides is working. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Let me just take the 120 motion now as well, so I don't interrupt you again. Leader?
Might the Senate be permitted to sit beyond 1:30 to complete the business of the day?
Thank you very much. Members would have heard the question. Those in favor? All yours, Senator Morris.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now I want to shift to talking a little bit about values. Jamaica, as I said, is known for its vibrant culture. And every speaker who's in this house has at some point acknowledged that we are people of resilient spirit. We have to, though, acknowledge that some cracks have begun to erode the foundations of our national identity. And the values that once described us, once defined us, hard work, integrity, independence, and respect have somehow been overshadowed by troubling norms, such as this dunce culture. We hear it in the music, the normalization of violence. These shifts threaten not just our social fabric, but our economic and national development. And all of this, I believe, is grounded in strengthening and promoting Jamaican culture. This is why where many of our young people work and operate. The plan for culture on this side, it is grounded in solidifying who we are and who we want to be. To do this, we must invest in our culture and its expressions, nurture greatness, use the cultural norms to achieve our sustainable development goals and go for growth. We will present good governance for the cultural sector. Most of all, we'll be grounding our culture locally and taking it further globally. How then can we fail if we do this? These are the plans that we have that will take us to where we want our state of the nation to be. If we want to build a Jamaica where every citizen has the opportunity to thrive, we must reset our values and attitudes. A society rooted in hard work and independence fosters productivity, innovation, and resilience. Respect and integrity build trust and collaboration, essential for thriving democracy and economy. Changing the values and attitudes of a nation is no small task, we agree, but it is critical to unlocking Jamaica's full potential. The eternal question for us, though, is how? How? This, I believe, requires a multifaceted approach anchored in education, engagement, and leadership to reignite discipline and accountability, and a collective commitment to progress. The plans and programs in social transformation, culture, and citizen security that we have been engaged in provides answers to that question. We all know what needs to be done, but we are now focused on how, and we look forward to sharing that with Jamaica at just the right time. One of the critical pieces of that puzzle is the engagement of our young people. Mr. President, one of the greatest disservices that we have done to youth is selling them a dream that work hard, be on your best behavior, education will carry you through and guarantee success. But the reality for many of our young people is far different. Yes, unemployment remains a challenge, even with the data that we're seeing. But it is underemployment, working hard but barely earning enough to survive, that is robbing many of our young people of the dignity and of hope and of the possibility of thriving. The reality is felt acutely in industries like the BPO sector, where many workers, most of them young people, have to endure long hours. They have precarious contracts and limited job security, only to see job cuts erode what little stability they already had. Time come for a renewed focus on worker rights, ensuring that all Jamaicans have access to fair wages, safe working conditions, and opportunities for advancement. It is not enough to just create jobs. Yes, it is good, but we must have meaningful, sustainable employment that allows our youth to build lives of independence and prosperity. In particular, what we would like to see is a framework for independent workers and those in the gig economy, those seen as informal in the changing world of work. That is something that we need, a framework. Many of them are young people who are looking at more novel ways of working, moving outside of the traditional framework. We have to engage them. Moreover, when we look at some of these sectors that remain unstable, especially for our young people, we see that they don't have access to health insurance, pension, paid leave, and this further exacerbates the vulnerabilities faced by young employees. Requiring employers to provide these benefits would not only improve the quality of life for workers, but also contribute to long-term economic stability for families. Additionally, ensuring that young people have a platform to voice their concerns and advocate for real change in the workplace is increasingly essential. Mr. President, the youth of Jamaica are not looking for handouts. Many of them are just looking for opportunities.
You don't describe
They want a fair chance to succeed, to live in dignity, and to build lives that they can be proud of. These interconnected initiatives, rooted in values, community inclusion, and empowerment, will address the immediate challenges facing our youth, but also renew their faith in the promise of Jamaica. By investing in their development, by protecting their rights, by fostering an environment of opportunity, we can ensure that their deferred dreams become realized ambitions. This is the direction that Jamaica must take, and time comes to make it a reality. The time for empty promises is over. Our youth need bold, comprehensive action to address the challenges they face. My repeated calls over the years, Mr. President, for a national values and attitudes campaign has reached its use-by date. No more time to wait for the government to do its job. We have developed the policies, plans, and programs to once again instill respect, integrity, and civic pride among young Jamaicans, emphasizing the importance of hard work, accountability, and community building. We want this campaign to be complemented by robust safe sex and sexual education initiatives in schools and communities, because we have to address issues like teenage pregnancy and sexually transmitted infections to equip our youth with knowledge to make responsible choices. These interventions must also take into account conflict management. Now I want to focus a little bit on community-based interventions, because communities or community development must be a cornerstone of our vision of change. In Northwest St. Anne, we want to become a model constituency for community engagement. As I walk through our towns, our communities, the message from our people is clear. They want better opportunities, especially for their children, for their grandchildren. Far too many young people in Northwest St. Anne are searching for purpose, while many of our community centers and spaces for young people to gather remain closed, covered in bush, and underutilized. This is the same across the country, and it cannot continue. Our program of re-engagement of youth must focus, Senator Crawford, on revitalizing our youth clubs and re-establishing community homework centers. These centers must ideally be located in our schools, which are already equipped to host these interventions. They will provide critical educational support for children in need. In Northwest St. Anne as well, Mr. President, we're committed to continuing the transformative Second Chance initiative, which is something that we hope will be replicated across the country. This was introduced by then MP Dayton Campbell in 2012. Now, what we aim to do through the program is to give individuals, both young and old, the opportunity to achieve certification through high trust, along with the attainment of 5 CXC subjects. It will also offer grants for young entrepreneurs, along with capacity building. This initiative represents our commitment to advancing lives and creating new, diverse pathways for success. Another pressing priority that I cannot sit and not mention is affordable and accessible housing. When it was announced, while it was announced, I believe last year by the Prime Minister, that steps were taken to reserve some of the housing stock for young people under 35, we have to go further, because we still have a challenge of young people being able to afford the housing solutions that are on the market. And so we have to put in place innovative plans and approaches, such as a rent-to-own program and housing cooperatives, yes, Senator Crawford, to make home ownership achievable, more achievable for young Jamaicans.
Remember, I can write every speech over there.
Inclusion must also be an important pillar as we seek to build a country that takes into consideration people from all walks of life. I spoke earlier about the challenge of food insecurity and how it affects our children, our young people. Hunger should never be a barrier for education. And a few weeks ago, I moved a motion for the implementation of a national school nutrition policy, advocating for healthy, affordable food options for students who are most in need. To make this vision a reality, we see value in partnership between the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health, and local farmers by collaborating with CASE and other agricultural stakeholders. We want to see the rollout of a national school feeding policy that ensures that every child receives a nutritious meal daily, bridging the gap between classroom learning and healthy living. We've been saying to be implemented for a number of years now, and all we are asking is for it to be implemented once and for all. Just do it.
And bring your motion to the floor. Tell them to bring the motion.
And bring the motion so that we can debate it and move forward. That's all we are asking. That's all we are asking. Lovely. Mr. President, one of my final points revolves around rural development. Rural Jamaica has long been the backbone of our nation's economy, culture, and identity. Yet, rural communities remain underserved and overlooked. In Northwest St. Anne, the challenges are glaring: poorly maintained roads, limited access to water, and insufficient support for our farmers who continue to work tirelessly to feed the nation. If Jamaica is to move forward, then rural development must be a national priority. And I'm proud to hear that the next government will prioritize rural development. Good roads, Mr. President, they are lifelines in rural communities, connecting farmers to markets, children to schools, and residents to essential services. In Northwest St. Anne and other rural communities across the country, crumbling infrastructure has left too many communities cut off from opportunities and out of reach. Our people are bitterly complaining of thousands spent fixing their vehicles, the front end gone. and the lack of reliable public transportation and exorbitant taxi fares due to the state of the road. There are many people who face challenges getting emergency services because the road is that bad. The next government has committed to re-establishing a road maintenance fund, or re-establishing a road maintenance fund that will support rehabilitation of the road network across the country. Yes, I'm talking about that same road maintenance fund that was shut down in 2017. This fund also has to prioritize communities that has been neglected for far too long. We can't simply be patching the roads every time. We have to ensure that our roads are built to last, designed to withstand weather conditions, which we are familiar with in rural Jamaica, and are maintained over time. This is what we need to see, Mr. President. Agricultural development as well is key to unlocking economic growth in rural Jamaica. And we must do more to empower farmers. We must do more to ensure that they have the resources and the support to thrive. The next government, we have committed to providing training, access to modern farming technology, and affordable financing to encourage innovation and sustainability in the agricultural sector. We want to look specifically at women farmers who are critical to food production in rural Jamaica. We want them to benefit from targeted programs that provide grants, technical support, and access to land. Additionally, we want to work to strengthen our agricultural cooperatives and expand opportunities for rural farmers to access local and international markets, ensuring that they receive fair prices for their produce. Access to water. It remains one of the most pressing challenges for rural communities. In fact, Mr. President, in Northwest St. Anne, I hear the cries too often. Too many families are still relying on inconsistent water supply, forcing them to have to purchase water sometime with exorbitant cost. The next government has committed to investing in modern water infrastructure, such as reservoirs, wells, and rainwater harvesting systems. We will also work with community organizations to ensure sustainable water management practices, because we have to teach our people to take care of the resources that they have. Many rural communities, we're looking forward, you know, Senator, forward. And we're ready to do the work. Many rural communities as well rely on clinics as the main source of health care. In Northwest St. Anne, for example, I've already lamented the state of the clinics, especially those in Runaway Bay and Bamboo. Yes. The promised updates since that time still have not come. Absolutely. And another suggestion that I want to place on the table that is ideal especially for rural communities is to adopt the preventative healthcare model that we see being practiced in countries such as Cuba. And we hear mention of some of the preventative techniques that are being used. But all we're asking is to broaden the scope. Let us increase the number of community health aides and provide mobile health clinics. Let us do more. I did the math. And we're agreeing, but that is, listen, for the paper. That is almost one aide No, hold on. You've had enough time. That's almost what? 1,000 patients, 1,000 plus patients to one aid. And what we're saying, we're grateful for the increase.
She spoke because of no moment. You are the one who's starring.
Mr. President, I believe we are all agreeing on the point. We're all agreeing on the point that there is merit. There is merit in us using this model of preventative health care to bring hope to the most remote areas of rural Jamaica. Mr. President, the future of Jamaica, I believe, depends on unlocking the potential of our rural communities. By investing in roads, agriculture, and water, the next government, we will improve the quality of life for people. Rural development cannot continue to be an afterthought. It is necessary for building a more inclusive, prosperous, and resilient Jamaica. In closing, we stand at a defining crossroads in our history. For far too long, the dreams of our people have been deferred. Far too many families have struggled in silence, yearning for a better tomorrow. That time is over because people time come. The young woman that I met in Brownstown who dreams of opening her own business. The farmer in Hazelwood working tirelessly to feed his family.
Yes, man.
The child in Tracy who dreams of becoming the first in the family to get a university education.
Absolutely.
The taxi operator in retirement who is overwhelmed by the cost of front-end parts and dreams of better roads. These are the people who drive my commitment. And they deserve much better.
Absolutely.
Hope, I dare say, is on the way. A new dawn is rising in this country. It is a dawn where every child will have access to opportunity, where every young person can feel empowered to pursue their dreams, and where every elder can rest easy, knowing that they're cherished and taken care of. I believe in the strength and resilience of Jamaicans. I believe in the creativity that lives in the minds of our people, the perseverance of our workers, and the unyielding spirit of our communities. Together, we will transform dreams deferred into dreams fulfilled. We must dare to imagine a future where no child goes to bed hungry, where no young person feels that their potential is being wasted here, and where no elder is left wondering if their contributions mattered because they can't get the health care that they deserve. This is the Jamaica that we can and will build. Let us rise as one people with one vision, determined to fulfill the promise of independence. Let us step boldly into the future, guided not by fear, but by hope and certainty that our best days as a country are ahead of us.
Absolutely.
The time is now, and the hour is here. Together, we are moving forward, leaving no one behind. Let us change the state of our nation today to one we want for ourselves. That choice of change rests with us, and together we will make it. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, see, I'm ready to go.
Practice.
I want to close with the words of our poet laureate, Lorna Goodison, who responds to the question, how far is it to heart ease? Believe, believe, and believe this, that I know how far Hearties is. Mr. President, Hearties is right around the corner. With good choices, Hearties, time come.
Thank you very much, Leader. Senator Morris. Senator Morris, thank you very much. Thank you. Leader.
Mr. President, may I thank our contributors to the State of the Nation for their interventions today and ask for suspension of the State of the Nation debate.
The question is that the State of the Nation debate be suspended for a date to be fixed. Those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
And I will speak next week.
It is not intended to do any further business today. Might the Senate be adjourned for a date to be fixed?
Thank you very much. Just one brief announcement. The meeting that I had proposed with the Integrity Commission, it is proposed to have it next week, Friday at 9 o'clock, subject to the availability of the officer from the Integrity Commission, and everyone is invited to that meeting. It will be held under the time usually reserved for the Standing Orders Committee. So the Standing Orders Committee is inviting everybody to join us then. The ladies from St. Anne's Bay, from St. Anne's, make sure you drive carefully and go over. And if you are in the driver is there, well, you try and make sure you carry the people them safe here, and don't bother with the racing on the road. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. Always nice to see you. And when you get a chance, you come back to see us again, okay? Thank you very much.
All right. Come back and we will be over there the next time.
This meeting of the Honorable Senate is adjourned for a date to be fixed.
All right, Father. Blessings.
You did very well.
All right.
A good driver, Senator Morris. A good driver. Lots of practice there.
We have time.